بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So last week we did the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the father of monotheism, and today we're going to do the story of Ismail, his firstborn son. Okay, so let's see who's here. So we have Fahima and Saima. Let me see how many pages we're looking at. Also, it's just 2 pages. So we'll have Fahima do the first page, and then Saima, you can do the second page.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
عليكم
أعوذ
السلام
بالله من
ورحمة
الشيطان الرجيم.
الله.
قصة إسماعيل عليه السلام. رزق إبراهيم بإسماعيل.
رزق.
إبراهيم رزق.
So the Ibrahim would be what?
رزق إبراهيم عليه السلام was إبراهيم.
So what's the
إبراهيم
haraka on me?
مو ضمة.
Yes, ضمة. Because it's a نائب الفاعل of
نائب
رزق.
الفاعل of رزق. رزق إبراهيم بإسماعيل. The Ibrahim alayhi salam was blessed with Isma'il alayhi salam من زوجته الثانية هاجرة, from his second wife هاجرة. مما آثار الغيرة في نفس
This is a
زوج.
فعل. أثار is a فعل. أسلم from أسلم family.
like أقام يقيم, right? Yes.
Yes.
So this was like something like ignited, right? Sparked.
Yes.
مما آثار الغيرة في نفس زوجته
I
الأولى
think it's going to be
سارة. غيرة.
Yeah. Because if it was غيرة too, it won't be أثارة, the whole version. It will be أثارت.
Correct. Yes. So which sparked? Is it correct? Which sparked the jealousy?
So he
sparked.
Yes. هو أثار.
मतलब Ismail Islam sparked?
No,
He's
Ibrahim. It's going back. Means زوجته, which goes back to Ibrahim. So we're talking about this he. So it's going back to this.
I was a little confused with this here also. مما آثار الغيرة في نفس زوجته الأولى سارة. So that which he sparked zeal in his wife, in his first wife.
Yes. So
what does it
what
mean? I didn't get
sparked,
it.
So from what Ibrahim sparked or ignited or basically provoked jealousy in the heart, or in the heart is better, in the heart of his wife, of his first wife, Sarah.
He sparked jealousy, sister. That's why I was confused. Like, what I was thinking is the jealousy sparked in his in the heart of his first wife. I thought like
then
that, you know.
It will be أثارت الغيرة.
Yeah.
So there's no أثارت. You understand? So it's not the ghira that's doing it. It's, according to this text, it's Ibrahim, basically, that sparked. That's, I don't know. Unless I mean, I don't know.
No,
what do you guys think?
Did he spark the jealousy in her heart, Sister Ilham?
That's what the text is saying here, because he married a second wife. So he kind of sparked jealousy because he married a second wife. That's how I'm understanding the text. Okay.
I was not able to frame it because I was thinking same, there is a ghirata is there, but I was thinking like how would he do? So I was thinking, but you told it correct. Ta marbuta is there, so it should be atharat. But that's what it was confusing me. How did he spark jealousy? I thought the Ismail Islam's.
Sometimes you can have a masculine verb come with like a dua that is feminine. Sometimes that can happen. So maybe that's the case. Here, I don't know.
What I was
but
thinking
then
is Isma'il Islam. It was going to Isma'il Alayhi Salaam that he's sparked fi nafsi zawjati something.
no, but then zawjatihi wouldn't make sense if it was Ismail.
Sense.
So
Correct,
you
correct.
see, the pronoun has to go back to something that has been mentioned before. So the fact that they're saying fi zawjatihi, so we have to ask ourselves, who is this he? So of course this he is Ibrahim, and where is
Yes.
this going back to? Is going to Athara. That's how I looked at it.
Yes,
And then of
okay,
course
correct.
the huwa in Athara goes back to this pronoun, and this pronoun goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam.
Okay, sure. So مما آثار غيرة في نفس زوجته الأولى سارة which sparked the jealousy in the heart of his first wife Sarah. فطلبت منه السير بحاجر وابنها عنها. So she demanded or she requested from him to travel, sister, to travel with Hajara and his son from here,
away
from
from
here,
her, from
away
Sarah.
from her.
Yes.
How would you take it, this one, sister? Away from her, how would you analyze it like that?
So sayr basically has to do with movement. Yeah. So it has, so you can say to live with Hajar and his son away from her. So an means away, like from is to, and an is away from. Yeah. So he asked Ibrahim alayhi salam to go away, to take Hajar and his son away from her. So this ha here, it goes back to Sarah.
Sarah alayhi salam.
Yeah.
So فطلبت منه السير بحاجر وابنها بحاجر وابنها عنها. So she demanded from him to travel with Hajra and her son away from her.
Yes.
ففعل, so he did. حتى بلغوا أرض الحجاز, until they reached the land of Hijaz. Hijazi, أرض الحجازي. وكانت أرض خالية جرداء. The land was empty, or empty and empty, barren and empty.
Yes. Yes. Jardaan.
خالية is empty, جرداء barren. ثم تحول عنهما بأمر من الله. Then it changed. The land changed from ثم تحول عنهما بأمر من الله متجهة للدعوة إلى توحيده. Then he turned away from the both of them by the command of Allah. Correct, sister? عنهما, away from them.
Yes.
متجها للدعوته متجها in a direction to the متجها in a direction of to invite towards Tawheed or monotheism.
Yes. So
can I say once again?
Yes, please.
So he turned away from them by the command of Allah in a direction of Islamic da'wah, that is to Islamic invitation towards the monotheism.
Yeah, to call people to monotheism or to Tawheed.
Tawheed.
Yeah, so this can be like, yeah, it can be in a direction to, because wajh, it comes from the same wajh, face. So to face, or to go in a direction, or to aim for something. So you can even say aiming for the calling to Tawheed. So here it will be a hal.
Here it will be hal muttajahan.
Yes.
Stella? Okay.
Yes. That's
and
why
one more thing, tawheedihi. It's tawheedihi.
The who goes back to Allah. So this goes back to this one.
Oh.
The Tawheed of Allah. I know the pronouns can be confusing if they use the pronouns a lot and they don't really, yeah. So you don't know the who is referring to who or the ha. Don't be confused.
Okay. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes.
ودعا ربه التكفل ربه التكفل بزوجته وابنه. He called out his Lord to be responsible for his wife and his son.
Yeah, you can say that, or to provide security. Yeah, takaful, basically to be responsible, to take care of. Responsible is kind of like the right word there, so that's good.
Sister Ilham, it should be takaffula only, right? La, which
Yes.
like maful bihi.
Yeah, because
And it is
takafula.
It's masdar, right, Sister Ilham?
Yes. Yeah. تكفل يتكفل تكفلا.
تكفلا. Okay, correct then. ودعا ربه التكفل بزوجته وابنه. So he called out his Lord to be responsible for his wife and his son. وقد رأت هاجر إسماعيل وقد رأت هاجر إسماعيل وأرضع إسماعيل.
But Hajar first. What is the haraka on Hajar?
هاجروا.
Yes.
هاجروا.
Yes.
وإسماعيل وأرضعته.
Yes.
And Hajar alayhi salam took care of Isma'il alayhi salam, and she fed him. Sister Ilham, could you please tell me how this qad is working here? She had taken care of him and she fed him. Qad here?
Yeah, so sometimes we translate the qad, sometimes we don't. Like when it comes to with the madi, it shows certainty. It can show what else? I'm forgetting. So she already fed, she already took care of, or something like that. I don't know how you translate that, but it shows certainty when it comes
So I
with
can
the
say
madi.
Hajara had taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay. Hajaru Hajar alayhi salam had taken care of Ismail alayhi salam and fed him. فَإِئْتَنَتْ بِهِ إِلَى أَنْ نَفِدَ طَعَامُهَا وَشَرَابُهَا.
So when you have a harf ataf coming with hamzatul wasl, this is called hamzatul wasl. When you have that, you don't pronounce the e. You don't say wa'i'tanat. You just say wa'atanat. So that kind of like, that kind of gets a sukun. Wa'atanat.
Okay.
Like that.
Sure. وَاعْتَنَتْ بِهِ إِلَى أَنْ نَفِدَ طَعَامُهَا وَشَرَابُهَا. So اعتنت is she. Could you please help me with this word? To give attention, to give away,
to show care and attention to somebody. So it kind of like has the same meaning as ra'at. So ra'at, to take care of somebody. I'tanat, to show concern for someone.
to show concern for someone. So she took care of him until depleted the food, her food and the drink.
Yeah.
She took care of him until the food and the drink depleted.
Yes.
Sister Ilham, when I was I was searching for it, ila an is showing as until.
Yes.
Ila plus an.
Yes.
So this un plus nafida, this un is working on nafida, right? Isn't it not?
Yes.
And so it's a Samia family. So this will both this ila plus an will work as until, and un plus nafida will work like a masdar then?
Yes. But remember, nafida is fi'al madi, so you won't actually like see the, like, I know it's saying nafida, but yeah. So basically until the depletion of her food and her drink.
Depletion of her food and drink, yes. Correct. فأخذت تسعى بين جبلين. Then she began to strive or pursue between the mountains. They are as-Safa wal Marwata, Safa and Marwa.
So we'll say Marwa too, because it's huma. It's a new sentence, sort of. As-Safa wal Marwa too. But you can just Safa wal Marwa.
Okay. صفا والمروة ظنا منها وجود الماء في أحدهما thinking
وجود
that
الماء.
وجود
Yeah.
وجود الماء في أحدهما thinking thinking that from it would be the presence of water in one of them.
Yeah. So
Can
thinking
I
that
ask you
she
something?
would. Yes, go ahead.
ظنا منها وجود الماء في أحدهما. ظنا is a it's a masdar sister, right?
Yes, this is a masdar.
So how would you say thinking that it thinking from it, is it like that thinking from
Yes.
it the presence of water in one of them?
So remember we talked about that there are certain isms that act like fi'ls. Remember that concept? And we said isim fa'il, isim maf'ul, and masdars, they can sometimes act like fi'ls. So when a masdar acts like a fi'il, it means basically it takes a maf'ul bihi, or it can take a fa'il. And in this case, it's taking a maf'ul bihi. Thinking what? Thinking that there will be water, or there'll be presence of water in one of them.
Oh,
That
so
clarifies.
this some masdars ism file and ism maf'ul can act like a verb and it can take either file or
Or
maf'ul
maf'ul.
bihi.
Yes. So this
So
minha is just a متعلق that is مقدم. So you can say ظنا وجود الماء منها.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there is no mubtada here, there is no verb here like this. We cannot say like it like he's a mutaliq bil khabar. How would you, if you want to analyze the structure, sister?
So this goes back to this because this is a hal now. So the sentence,
This is
the i'rab hasn't ended. ظنا, and that's why you was translating it as thinking with ing. So because the sentence is still continuing. So thinking is the hal of what came before.
okay. Hal of what thinking? Yes, correct. So
تسعى
thinking.
ظنا. She was running, thinking. Or she was.
Oh, it goes back
jogging.
to tas'a then.
Yeah, because hal comes, it has to come in a jumla fi'liya mostly. So
Okay.
it goes back to an action. So what action was happening? It was running. Then she was thinking while she was running.
Okay. That was a beautiful explanation. Thank you so much. I was wondering how to just fit those analysis of this grammar structure.
Yeah, the thing with the Arabic sentences, they're very, very long. Sometimes you can have like, it just keeps going, and then you have a hal, and then you have a tamyiz, then you have a muta'alliq, several muta'alliqs, like one after the other. So, yeah.
Still, should I say what difficulty I was facing? I was not able to frame. I was not able to make a proper. I was not able to frame the sentences because where I'm finding the fail, I'm not able to find the file and all, and somehow the flow was breaking up. You know, I was not able to make it out this one. Like huma as-safa wal marwata. It could be treated as a different sentence, and then dhanan will go back to tas'a.
So actually, wait. So you have Jabalain, huma. So this is kind of like a, is it badal or atf bayan? I'm not so sure, but yeah, some kind of a badal that's happening there. Atf bayan, I think, because you can't really replace. You can't say bainahuma. Well, you can actually say bainahuma. I don't know. So تسعى بينهما or تسعى بين الجبلين or بين جبلين. So that could be like some kind of badal or atuf bayan there that's happening. And then of course now as-safa wal marwa. Kind of like it could be like protected by the quotes or something. And then or is it also badal? Huma safa wal marwa. I think that would be now mubtada khabar. Here it would be mubtada and khabar kind of situation. And then this would be hal. So you just have to know like how to break it down. You break it down into bits. So فأخذت, this is a فعل شروع. Remember فعل شروع have to do with beginning. So
Yeah.
فأخذت, she
فعل
began.
شروع.
Yeah, so that is the فعل شروع there. And then تسعى, another فعل, which of course comes with أفعال الشروع. So this would be our فعل. And of course the inside, the فاعل is the inside pronoun here, تسعى. And then of course بين جبلين, بين is a special مضاف, so this is متعلق ب تسعى. That's one part. And then جبلين, this is the badal of جبلين. So this هما, this whole basically goes back to جبلين. And then you have the حال as ظن.
Okay. 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 جزاك الله خير sister. إلى أن ظهرت عين ماء بأمر من الله. Okay, so she was saying like thinking of it, the presence of water in one of them, until the spring appeared, until the spring of water appeared, by the command of Allah.
Yes.
A command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rahmatan, as a mercy. It's again a mahal, right?
Yes.
As a mercy. Rahmatan bi Hajara wa wabniha. As a mercy for Hajara and her son. وقد شاء الله أن تكون تلك العين من الماء بئرا تمر به عين تلك العين
تكون is here version. Here تكون. تلك is also here version. العين is because it's عين is feminine because the Arab said so. So all of this is connected. This will be the ism of تكون.
تلك العين will be the
ism
تلك العين. Okay, correct. Then so Allah had willed to Allah had willed that these two springs of water,
the spring, that spring.
Allah had willed to be these two springs of water as a source of piety.
So Ainu, sorry. So Ain is just one spring, not two. Just one spring.
Sorry. Ainu. So had Allah had willed to be these two this spring of water be as a source of righteousness.
Bi'ran. No, Bi'ran is a well.
Oh.
Bir, remember, yeah.
It's a well. Sorry.
Yeah. Birra is goodness. Bir with a shadda on the ra. But bi'r with a hamza in between is a well.
I'm so sorry. Something.
It's okay.
Could you please help me in translating the system?
So, وَقَدْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ أَن تَكُونَ تِلْكَ الْعَيْنُ مِنَ الْمَاءِ بِئْرًا. And Allah had already willed that this spring, I'm saying this spring because tilka, or that spring, basically, that spring becomes that spring of water becomes a well. So Allah willed that the spring, the small spring that came out, that it will become a well of water.
Allah had already willed that this spring of water will become a well.
Yes.
Tamarru bihi. What is the sign? What is the sign? Tamarru bihi, this hyphen and then qawafilu. So this is a same sentence, or is it part of a sentence?
Yeah. So you have bi'ran here. It's nakira ba'daha al-jumla. Remember that? UJ likes to say that. It's a common word followed by a sentence. So tamurru is a fi'l. Yeah. So this is the sifa of bi'ran.
Tamarru bihi al-qawafila.
Yes.
The qawafila was qawafilu.
Yes, qawafilu.
and the caravan was passing by it.
So a well, whereby caravans pass.
Whereby the
Something.
caravan passed by it.
Yeah.
فأصبحت. Okay, good.
So we'll have Saima do the next. I don't know if she's still here. Okay. Saima, do you still want to do? Okay,
Yes,
good.
assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
فأصبحت تلك
Sorry, sister, I had got a call, so I went out to speak. Taking that.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. Okay, Saima, go on.
فأصبحت تلك المنطقة خصبة
Yes.
خصبة عامرة
Yes.
بفضل من الله. So that specific area
Mhm.
became Amiratan. What is
So
Amiratan?
khasbatan, first of all.
Khas-
Khasbatan means productive or fertile. So remember, we looked at a word before that was barren. This is a new word for me. So jurda'an. So that's barren. And then we have khasbatan, fertile. That would be the opposite.
And Amiratan?
And amiratan means flourishing, like a place that is flourishing, becomes successful.
Wow. So that area became flourishing and flourishing, productive with the fazl, with the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Azza wa Jalla.
Yeah.
وعاد إبراهيم عليه الصلاة والسلام. And Ibrahim alayhi salam returned ila zawjatihi towards his wife wa wabnihi ba'da itmamihi lil mahmad lil mahmatin
Mahamma.
Muhammadi,
Yeah.
his mission.
Yes. mission.
Translate this. So Ibrahim alayhi salam returned to his wife and his son after his satisfaction.
Completing. Itmam.
Complete.
Yeah, completing, finishing.
After completing his mission, which awkalahu biha rabbahu. Awkalahu
Yes. Rabbuhu.
rabbuhu awkalahu. His Lord assigned him.
Yes. Assigned, entrusted. So it comes from the same root as wakil, wakala. So wakil, to entrust. So awkala is the aslama family.
So
And of course,
allati,
rabbuhu is the outside doer of awkala. So his Lord entrusted him with it.
so the sifa of Muhammad.
Yes.
Sister Sama, 1 second, if you wouldn't mind. Itmamihi lil Muhammati. Sister Lam, he returned to his wife and son after its completion of Muhammati is
His completion, not its. His completion.
his completion of Muhammati's importance.
Not importance.
Mission.
Muhim, yeah. Mahamma is either a mission or a task or an assignment, one of those. But muhimmun will be importance. Or
So it's
important.
this is Muhammad, Sister Lam?
Yes, mahamma.
Okay.
So remember, Allah gave Ibrahim some tasks to complete, and he completed that. So after he completed them, then he returned to his wife and son. Go on, Saima. Yes.
Ra Ibrahim alayhi salam fi manamihi annahu yazbahu ibnahu Ismail. So Ibrahim alayhi salam saw in his dream that he is sacrificing his son Ismail.
Yes.
وقد امتثالا لأمر
امتثلا.
امتثلا.
Both of them. So امتثلا is the Hua version. هما امتثلا.
امتثلا. And what does this word mean, sister?
Basically, to make something come to fruition or practice. I'm forgetting the let me just check. Imitate
I sure it's
or to
to
obey.
obey. To obey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better, to obey. But مثلا to create, like, to make an example, that would be if you're connecting the sarf of it. So مثل is an example. So imtathala, to embody the example, that would be imtathala. So obey sounds better. But just to connect, I like to do that sarf because it makes it easy to identify words. So if you see this word goes back to, it has the same root letter as this one, you can be able to actually understand without even needing a dictionary. So if I know mathal is an example, then imtathala would be to embody, to become an example. So to obey the amrin. And of course, because it's a command, then obey makes more sense.
وقد امتثلا لأمر ربهما.
Rabbi,
And ربهما.
hima. Remember when it comes with a kasra?
Yes,
Yeah.
Rabbi. And they both further.
Obeyed.
They both obeyed the command of their Lord.
Yes.
Sometimes I think we leave cut just like that, like simply translated simple past tense. Like over here, if I put the meaning of already, it won't make any, like it
Yeah.
won't make much sense, right?
Yeah, sometimes you don't really translate the qad. Like it just sort of like tells you something happened in the past.
Or
I
it
would,
can be hal, waqad imtasala. No, it can't be, right? It won't make sense. While they both obeyed.
no.
It's just simple past tense.
Yeah.
Sister Lam, this qad shows the certainty of the fact which had happened, right?
Yes. That's the whole point of qad. Qad with madi shows the certainty. Like, yeah, it really happened. Like something like that.
But like I was asking translation wise, that I don't need to put already over here.
No.
That is why you can use had, I was thinking. Had shows
Oh,
the
had,
certainty.
yeah.
Had happened.
Yeah. They had obeyed. You can say something like that.
They had obeyed the command of their Lord. Is inna ru'yal anbiya'i haqqun.
Yes.
The dreams of the prophets are real.
Yeah.
How
So
to translate her is it? Yeah.
id plus inna means since.
Since the dreams of prophets are real, are
Yeah.
true.
Yes, that's true.
إلا أن الله تعالى لم يرد بذلك الأمر بذلك الأمر أمر تنفيذه فعلا.
Yes. فعلا.
تنفيذه. Except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not wanted that command. Tanfizu is to fulfill, to happen.
Yes, to happen,
Be
to
fulfilled.
fulfill, to become real, to materialize, to any one of those, to be executed.
Amar is feminine.
Amr?
Yeah, this word.
Yes. No, tanfid. This is a masdar.
Oh, tanfidu.
Yeah, nafada yunafidu tanfid. Nafada yunafidu tanfid.
Oh, Aslam Allama family.
Yes. So implementation, execution. Yeah. So Allah, except that Allah Ta'ala didn't actually want the matter to be implemented, or didn't want the matter that its implementation. Yeah.
So,
He didn't want with that matter its implementation.
so what will be the Arab of tanfizu? In this sentence?
Sorry, yeah. So it's gonna be, yeah, because it's what لم يرد بذلك بذلك الأمر تنفيذه. So it would be the مفعول of يريد.
And بذلك الأمر will be متعلق باليريد.
Yes.
What you wanted. You didn't want it, its implementation of that matter.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yes.
بل كان اختبارا اختبارا وابتلاء وامتحانا لإبراهيم وإسماعيل عليهما السلام.
Yes.
Rather, it was اختبار, choose.
So this means a test. So actually all these words, they're very close in meaning, but we'll try and translate them differently. So we'll say اختبار is a test. Ibtila is more serious. So we'll say it's a tribulation. Like it's a very big test. And imtihan, we're all familiar with imtihan. So we'll say examination. Even though they mean the same thing, more or less. But because they use 3 different words, we will try and use also 3 different words that are close to each other.
So rather it was a test, a tribulation, and an examination for Ibrahim and Ismail alayhum salam. وقد فدي إسماعيل إسماعيل بذبح عظيم من الله سبحانه. To give something, he was given.
So ransom, I think it also exists in Urdu, if I'm not wrong. Fida, I don't know if you have that word.
Yeah, fidya we say, na? Fidya.
Yeah, there's fidya, there's also fida. So fidya to ta'amu miskin, you give like a fidya. Instead of like, if you haven't maybe fasted some days in Ramadan, you give food as a ransom for your fast. Something like that. So fudya would be the فعل مجهول. ماضي مجهول. فودية. So it's fada, then fudiyah. It's naqis.
So Ismail Alayhi Salaam had ransomed with
was ransomed because it's madi.
Was ransomed with great sacrifice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
Ransomed. I didn't understand the sentence. He was ransomed.
Yes.
He
Basically, yeah, he
No.
was saved, but ransom is like you give something in the place of someone else. Like when kidnappers, they kidnap somebody, they ask for a ransom so that they can return the person they kidnapped. So that exchange, like, so Ismail was ransomed with a sheep from Allah, or a ram, or a sacrifice, whatever the animal was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thumma,
Or you can just think about it, just he was saved. That would be easier to think like that.
from this great sacrifice.
Yeah. With a great sacrifice. So this is what, you know, exchanged with Ismail's life. So there was a great sacrifice in exchange for Ismail's life. You still don't get it.
I'm so sorry.
The sacrifice of Isma'il Alayhi Salaam was interchanged with the sacrifice of the other thing, right?
Actually, I was
It was
thinking
exchanged,
about,
right?
like it was a sheep.
Yes, it was a sheep.
I was so I'm not able to fit how come this sheep is so great.
No, because imagine, I don't know, it's I think also because we do it every year, the Eid al-Adha, so it's a practice that just didn't end with Isma'il alayhi salam. It's happening throughout generations and it will continue to happen. So it's such a massive sacrifice in honor of Isma'il alayhi salam. Yeah.
Because it took the place of Isma'il alayhi salam, might be that has made it Azim,
Great
right?
also. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because it took the place of a prophet of Allah, Ismail.
Allah.
So also maybe that's why it's such a, and it also came from Allah. It wasn't like it
Allah.
was a worldly sheep they got from it, who knows where it came from. So Allahu Alam.
Somebody can please take my place. I have to open the door.
Okay, no problem. So Sultana, you want to
Ji, I'll do.
Okay.
Summa amruhuma
Amara.
amara humallahu
Mhm.
bi bina al
B.
kabat bi
So you have
bina il kabatil musharrafati.
beautiful.
Sharafati. Summa, hence, Amrahuma, Allah made Allah's order on them, on them.
Allah commanded them.
Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them with the construction of Kaaba, which is Musharrafati. It is
You can say honored.
honored. Yeah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ji. Fi ata fa ataahu wal wali wala. Okay,
I'll
wala
help you with this one.
wala
Labbaya.
bayya okay, wala bayya amruhu wala bayya amruhu
Labbaya amrahu.
amrahu. Okay, this is mafud ji. Amrahu. So atahu means they completed the construction. Means ata matlab itaat karna, that is to
obey.
obey.
Yes.
So hence they obeyed him, right? They obeyed him. And labayya, I don't know what is this word, sister. Labayya completed.
So you know when people go for Hajj, they say labbaik Allahumma
yeah, labbaik.
Yeah. So labba, it means to respond. So when we say labbaik
okay, they both
Allahumma
responded.
okay,
they both responded to his command.
Yes.
Summa amrullahu amarallahu nabiyahu Ibrahima bidawatin nasi lil hajji ila baytihil harami.
Yes.
Then Allah commanded his Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam with the calling, that is to call upon the Nasis, upon the people for the that is towards Masjidil, the house, what to say, Baitul Harami is.
You can just say Baitul Haram, to the holy
Baitul
house.
Haram, okay. The holy house for Hajj.
Yes. Yeah. So ثم أمر الله نبيه إبراهيم بدعوة الناس للحج إلى بيته الحرام. Then Allah commanded his prophet Ibrahim with the calling of people to Hajj, or with the calling of Hajj to the people to his holy house.
To his holy house.
Yeah. Beautiful. So today there are no ayat in this story. But maybe we can just talk about if you have any lessons or anything to share. We have a few minutes left, and then we'll see what lessons you derive from the story of Isma'il alayhi salam, or what inspires you from the story of Isma'il alayhi salam, what you like about the story of Isma'il alayhi salam. If you have anything to share, you can share.
One thing I like this, the son accepting it blindly to the father's order without questioning. And
Yeah.
second, I could make out the jealousy. It's a natural thing which is there in the women's, right? Whether they are of the prophets or as a general. So
Yeah.
that nature, it is a common thing.
Yeah.
So that was also the one. And third, when we servants, when we follow upon what Allah has ordered, so without second thing in thought, I think so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him with the other best way, like after the test. So where when the big sacrifice was done, it was Allah's decision that he made that sheep to come in its place, right? So that was also a blessing. Think so. We should not think about the results. Just say labbaik and have to follow what Allah has ordered. Like
True. Subhanallah. I think this story, the story of Isma'il alayhi salam, tells us, and of course we learn this from his father Ibrahim alayhi salam, the idea of tawakkul ala Allah, the idea of trusting Allah completely. This was a 12-year-old boy. He was a young boy, Ismail, when the sacrifice happened. Because the Quran tells us that, you know, when he started just having fun with his son, like they started running around and having fun and playing, you know how a father and son could just be playing with each other. When he reached that age, then Ibrahim alayhi salam saw in a dream, a true dream, to slaughter his son, to basically give up. How much had he already given up? He had given up his family, his people. He left his land. He had sacrificed himself in the fire. Remember when he was a young boy, we talked about that. He had sacrificed so many things already. Basically, he had lived without a son for so many years until when he got Isma'il alayhi salam, and Sarah felt a little bit of jealousy in her heart because now all this time they didn't have a son and now he has a son. She felt a little bit, you know, something. So you can imagine all these years he sacrificed without having anyone, without having a son. And when he finally gets a son and he's experiencing the joy of a son, Allah tells him, yeah, you gotta get rid of that. No. And you can imagine, like, he's already sacrificed enough. He's given up so much. And this, Allah is asking him to sacrifice his only son. The kind of sacrifice. And he doesn't say no, or he doesn't even think about it. And imagine, it was a dream. It wasn't even a command. It was a dream. He saw it in a dream. It wasn't like Jibril came down and said, okay, now this is a command from Allah. You have to slaughter your son. No, it was a dream. He just saw it in a dream. And he went to Ismail and said, okay, I saw in a dream, we got to do this. We have to, you know, take care of this. And then Ismail says, yeah, sure. God, take a knife and finish me off. Subhanallah. Like, I can't even imagine the kind of trust they have in Allah, both of them. And this is a young boy. Can you imagine going to your son when he was 10, 12 years old, and you tell him, Allah has commanded me to slaughter you? And, you know, like, I don't even imagine they would understand what you're saying. It's an impossible situation, subhanAllah. And yet, they both did it. They both trusted Allah. Allah said it, bas khalas, you just do it. No questions asked, no thinking twice about it, no begging Allah for an alternative. Most of us would be like, yeah, Allah, give something else other than this. Yeah, Allah, anything else. Yeah, Allah, ask me to throw myself in the fire, but not this. Like, we would ask Allah for an alternative. They did not do that. Both of them immediately just, you know, said, okay, let's get it done with. Let's do this. Subhanallah, they trusted Allah with whatever outcome. And Allah came through for them. That's what it means to just leave everything, trusting Allah, and just sort of, I imagine if this is, for me, tawakkul, this is what I imagine tawakkul sounds like. Tawakkul sounds to me like when you're standing at the edge of a cliff and you hear a voice down at the cliff telling you, throw yourself, and you just throw yourself. That's what I imagine tawakkul means, especially tawakkul with Allah. Like, you don't even know what's down there. You don't even know if you're going to be safe. You don't know nothing, but you just hear a voice, throw yourself, it's going to be fine, and you just do it. No questions asked, subhanAllah. And that's what they did. It's truly amazing. Impossible for the rest of us, impossible. I don't imagine anybody has the strength to do something like this that they both did. It's truly amazing. Anybody with any thoughts or anything to share in the story of Isma'il alayhi salam?
Actually, it was a two-sided coin, like my sister. When he was a kid, his father was the other way, like where he didn't get any love from his father. And he alone had traveled that whole distance. And when he had the time where he could love his son, and it was at that time where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was saying at the same time that, please sacrifice your son. That is what. So imagining that part of his life to this was like a completely different
Subhanallah.
picture.
And it's amazing, you know, Ibrahim was tested with his own self when he was a
Yeah.
young boy like Ismail, and Ismail as well. He was tested with his own life at the same, almost the same age. Subhanallah. Amazing. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't even notice, like, both of them were tested at a very young age with their own lives. Like, it wasn't a small test. It was sacrifice yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
We were searching for the teenager word, right? Might be 10 to 13 or 7 to 10. So now when you said that he would have been that same age where he was playing. So I could recall that. Might be that same age, these two.
So beautiful. Anybody else with any other thoughts?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Today is my first day I joined the class.
Welcome, Hajara.
Jazakallah khairan. Jazakallah khairan. The one thing that is really difficult for being, I'm a mother, and then if you put your child on the floor and then face down and you take a knife and then cut his skin, it must be, I can't imagine this time. But, and also the young age that he said to him that I will be patient.
Yeah.
Do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you. I will be a patient one.
Yeah.
So we are far, far, far from it. The Prophet's time and then the Sahaba's time. If we see a little bit, a small problem, we complain.
Yeah.
But he was putting his son and cutting the skin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw his sincerity and told him that stop. You received your
Allah, it's
intention
very
of
true.
your sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't imagine doing something like this. Subhanallah. It's beyond us. And Allah will never like test us in this way because they were special. If Allah tests us like this, we are done for, like completely done for. So may Allah protect us and not test us like this, or even not test us. Yeah, it's a difficult test.
Because we are not strong people like those people. We are not strong at all.
Yeah, subhanallah. Zara says
Sorry,
in the chat.
because I was in the class. I couldn't join the class because I was there. So
No
I
problem,
then
it's fine. Yeah, whenever you can join. If not, we have the recordings on YouTube. You can watch the
Oh, the
recordings as
recordings
well.
are amazing. It's so good. I just, when I have got 5 minute time, I play and then I write something and then leave it for later.
That's good. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. وإياك جزاك الله خيرا. Thank you for being here. It's nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to stay in the class.
Sure. Of course. Anybody's welcome. So Zara says in the chat, why great sheep? So somebody was questioning, like, why is it dibhin azimin? Why is it a great sacrifice? She says it was brought from paradise by the angel. I don't find the narration hadith, but it is related that way in books and in lectures. So maybe we can look for the evidence and maybe share in the group chat and see. Yeah, and it is a great sacrifice. And, just considering the fact that we're still doing it in honor of Ismail, it's amazing. Anything else somebody wants to share before we end today's session? I mean, the stories of the Prophet, subhanAllah, they really inspire you, motivate you, encourage you. Like they build that iman. You feel your heart is just like revived. It's quenching the thirst of, of iman. Like it's filling up, subhanAllah, when you hear. And we didn't even, like these people lived, we don't know how long they lived, but they lived a long life, we assume, at least. And yet we just know a few details about their life. We don't know their entire life. We don't know how many nights Ibrahim alayhi salam stayed up in tahajjud. We don't know how many times, he fasted. We don't know this stuff. We just know a few instances that happened in his life. And those moments, subhanAllah, they are so massive that they just fill you up. It's enough to revive your iman when you hear about the prophets, and you understand why Allah chose them. Because if He chose some of us, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it. You understand why Ibrahim was chosen and why Isma'il and why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was chosen, because of their character, and you see the sacrifices that they did. Subhanallah, they deserve to be chosen. It's truly amazing.
And I wanted to share about the role of Hajar alayhi salam in this, because she was the one, like Ibrahim alayhi salam was not there, and she took care of Isma'il alayhi salam and made sure to put that faith inside him, that when he grew up, his faith was so strong that he immediately, obeyed the command of Allah. So her role as a mother is a very a true inspiration for us, to take it as a role model and to follow her footsteps in raising our children as well.
Absolutely. Again, the idea of trust. Like, look at the family of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the amount of trust they have in Allah. He tells them, he just leaves them there and starts walking away. He doesn't even say a word. He just walks away. And Hajar is like, oh, wait, what? Are you leaving? He doesn't say anything. And then Hajar, okay, thinks about it. Okay, maybe this is bigger than what we think. So she asks him, is it a command from Allah? And then he responds. And immediately she's like, okay, we are safe. If it's a command from Allah, we trust Allah. Subhanallah, how? Imagine they leave you in a barren desert with a baby, with maybe like a liter of water. It runs out in a matter of hours. It runs out and you're stuck. You're there, there's no building, there's no there's no tent, there's nothing. It's just you and your son in the middle of the hot sun, in the middle of the desert, between two hillocks. That's I can't imagine. Like, amazing people, honestly. Really amazing. Wow. Powerful stories of the prophets and their families. And Ibrahim is just amazing. I mean, the whole family is just truly mind-blowing how they lived. And also when you actually see the distance between Safa and Marwa, you'll be like, how did this woman do this? It's amazing. 7 times. Jogging, not walking, jogging. SubhanAllah. Like,
Yeah,
then
and
again,
at that time they didn't even have, it was all sand. Now when we go there, it's all, the floor is like it's
and
cool
air
and it's not,
conditioning,
it's
yeah,
and
and you have
everything,
water
yeah.
with you.
Mm.
SubhanAllah.
And she was doing that in open, like in the burning sun, and in this like it was all rocky and sandy.
But then it tells you the character of a mother. Like, a mother would easily die before they let their child dies. Like, they would do whatever it needs to be done. The sacrifice they would do for their child. When the child is there crying, you would do anything you need to do. I mean, but it's not an easy thing. Not all mothers can do this, by the way. It's not an easy thing to do. SubhanAllah. Amazing that you brought that up. Jawhara said, I almost cried at Safa and Marwa. Oh, yeah, it's not an easy task. SubhanAllah. May Allah grant us an opportunity to go to Hajj and Umrah, and we all get to experience this. Ameen, Ya Rabb. Anybody else has anything else to say or to share? before we end. Truly remarkable stories. Okay, I think we can safely end there because it's already time. Tomorrow we have a very short, because the story of Ishaq is very, very short. There's not a lot that is mentioned about Ishaq in the Quran. So it's a very short story. So what I decided to do is we will combine the story of Ishaq and the story of Yusuf, alayhi salam, and not, we'll do half the story of Yusuf because the story of Yusuf is also very long. So we'll do the story of Ishaq and a bit, half the story of Yusuf, and then we'll finish off next time, inshallah. So if you're preparing, you can prepare those two stories, inshallah, for next week. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا سيستر.
جزاك الله
وإياكم
خيرا وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وإياكم جزاكم الله خيرا.
الله